Hi there, my name is Drew, and if we haven't met before, welcome to ReadyBudgetGo. If this isn't your first time visiting my channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here either way. It's Friday, so this is the day when I come clean about everything that I earned and everything I spent throughout the week. I have some transactions for June to report, but also my June doesn't start until today because of how the calendar falls. So I'm not reporting any expenses, but I have income. Well, I don't have income. I have bills, I have checking account transactions, and I have some important savings milestones to talk about. So let's jump in. Before I get into the budget, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed, whether you subscribed in the past week or whether you've been with me from the start. I hit my 1,000 subscriber mark this last week, and that really means a lot. So again, thank you all so much. I will have a video coming out that is sort of a celebration of that. So look for that at some point this month. I don't know exactly when. I was thinking I had more time, but I really need to prepare for that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a little note here off camera real quick, because there's one thing that I need to do to prepare for that I started and then didn't finish. So I will finish that soon. But let's get into the budget. So let me flip over to June. I may come back to this goal page and talk about it later. So if you're new, I record all of my income, all my bills, all my weekly spending, and then all of my stockpiling and saving. Stockpiles are also known as sinking funds, but I've always thought of them as stockpiles because I'm setting that money aside for a specific purpose. And as soon as that purpose is ready to be achieved, then the money is spent. Okay, so no income this week came in, and that is not uncommon. I don't get my first paycheck until the 15th of the month, so it will be more than another week until that first one comes in. But I did have expenses going out. So I paid the rent, and that was higher than I budgeted. And the reason is I had forgotten that trash service is included in the rent. So that, well, it's not included in the rent, it is paid along with the rent. So I had to add an extra $15 for that. And then my property management charges a churlish $3 fee for paying your rent. So that also adds to it. I just think of it as, if they had quoted me a price that was $3 higher, would I have still rented the apartment? The answer is yes, so I pay the fee. Even though I don't love it, it is what it is. And then utilities came in at $47, so significantly less than the $150 that I had budgeted. And that was just because I had no idea what the amount was going to be. I didn't know when the bill was coming. I just got the bill yesterday. It was for 19 days from May 1st through the 19th. So I paid the amount that was due for $47. That was electricity and water and sewer. So a pretty screaming deal, if you ask me. If you've been following me for a while, then you know that my utility bills used to be way higher. When I lived, the first place that I was living when I started my channel, my utility bills between water, sewer, garbage, natural gas, pest control, electricity, all of it, was running around $250 to $280 a month. It was getting really up there. And then in my last place, I was seeing utility bills of $90 to $100 for water, sewer, garbage, and natural gas, and then another 40 or 50 or so for electricity. So this is like a third of that. And I had budgeted electric separate because I either didn't know or I'd forgotten that it would be a consolidated bill. So I zeroed that out and marked it as, having come in, but I just put it all under utilities because, why not? So essentially, I budgeted $200 and I paid $47. So that gives me an extra $150 to play around with for the rest of the month, or just add to my checking account buffer. We'll see. iCloud was $3 as expected, and then I haven't gotten any of the other bills yet this month. But look at how tight this is compared to, what I've seen in the past. In fact, I can pull up my year ago budget from June of 2025. So let's go back here. I may not have June anymore. Let's see. No, but I have July. And look at all these bills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bills. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So less than half. And realistically, it's only going to be 6 bills because the electric is part of utilities. So I've really simplified my life down. I don't pay for a lot of subscriptions. I don't have a lot of extra activities. I don't have a car by choice. So I do that because I want to save more. I want to retire early. I want to purchase my freedom from having to work. And that doesn't mean I'm going to stop work necessarily, but I can go down to part-time, or I can do something that is more meaningful to me than what I'm doing now. I have that option. It's not that I necessarily want to, but I want to be able to, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's it for bills and for my soapbox. Over talking about the wallet, $225 is what I've given myself per week, but I haven't spent any of this yet because, like I was saying, the first week of June for me starts today, the 5th. So next week, I will have all the spending for this month to talk about. In terms of stockpiles or sinking funds, so I have already filmed all of the Monday videos for this month. So I have all of the numbers here from each week. And this week I did $112. So that money will go into my sinking funds. I've actually also filmed the allocation. I just need to make the transfer from my checking account into a savings account. I have a video coming out this weekend that, actually, no, I don't. It's not going to come out till the end of the month because it's the allocation video. But long story short, I used to use real cash for these sinking funds or stockpiles, and now I use prop money. And the reason is because my bank here in Ohio is you kind of have to go over hill and dale to get there and back. It's like an hour-long errand to do that. And I just don't like hauling large sums of money all over creation. So, and it has nothing to do with where I live or anything like that. It's just, I would feel that level of discomfort anywhere. So, instead, I'm going back to using prop money. I will transfer this money into a savings account. All of that will be shown here later in the month once everything kind of shakes out. But for now, I have just recorded all of the amounts for each week, and you'll see those videos every Monday. That's when I play savings games, 12 different games, 12 different sinking funds, and I allocate all the money. I'm going to change up my sinking funds at some point, probably in July, but I'm not quite there yet. Okay, savings and extra debt was $504 this week. That is my Tuesday video and my Wednesday video. On Tuesdays, we do the Batman binder, which is just miscellaneous savings challenges, mostly of mine, but also from a couple other folks, as well as the Celebration Savings book. And then on Wednesday is Friends Day Wednesday, and I use other people's challenges to save money. So between those 2 days, $504. So that is all for this page. Let's next talk about, not the cash allocation. Well, we can talk about the cash allocation. So all of the money that I'm saving on Tuesdays and Wednesdays is going toward my blip fund. That is the goal that I'm working on this month. And the reason that I chose to do this goal next, even though it's not the most important goal to me, is because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? It's a new state, new city. I didn't know what kind of bills were going to come in, if there were going to be any unexpected expenses. So I reprioritized the blip fund, mostly so that if anything came up this month, I could just snatch it away from over here, use it for whatever unexpected expense I had, and then focus on the blip fund even more in July or August, for that matter, if that's what it took. But things are looking like they're going to be okay. So I'm still focused on the blip fund. I'll do all of this for this month, get it funded, and then it is good to go, unless I need to use it. So let me go back to the goals page. I keep this in the front so that I'm looking at it every single week. And I have 2 goals that are already done. Emergency fund fully funded at $15,000, and the big move fully funded at $15,000. Now, I didn't end up saving $15,000 for the big move, nor did I spend $15,000. But the project is over and done with, so I marked it complete. My next priority, really, other than the blip fund, is to contribute the full $7,500 to my Roth IRA. And that brings me to the next point. So let's go over and talk about savings, because I don't have anything else. Oh, I guess I should talk about, let's see. So the cash flow tracker. So the only thing that came out so far this month is rent and trash and the convenience fee. And I didn't highlight these, so I need to do that because these are week 1. So let me stick the board behind this so it doesn't bleed. And of course, they come out as 2 separate transactions, so I get to write them down twice as separate transactions every month. Looking forward to that. Love that for me. Okay. And then no expenses yet for the reasons I've already explained. And then we just have the month end after that. Okay, so let's talk about savings. Recenter this here. So this worksheet is just what I filled out to determine how much I needed to save in my emergency fund. It came out to $13,775, but I bumped that up to $15,000, and that is what I saved. I completed this goal as my top priority this year, so this has been done for quite a while. But I filled up the beaker again, and I did have to take money out of my emergency fund because I had an unexpected tax bill come through. So that really lit a fire under my butt to make sure that I had everything set aside. I do have other sources of funds available if $15,000 isn't enough to meet an emergency, but I feel like this would see me through a pretty decent sized disaster should anything befall me. Knock on wood that it doesn't. Okay. And then this is just the tracker for everything I put into the emergency fund. So let's talk about the blip fund next. So I need to color in some of these panels, but I'm not quite there yet. I did initiate the transfer into the blip fund today as I'm recording this, which is Thursday, but that won't post probably until Monday. So because of that, I did write it down here, $504 from my Tuesday and Wednesday videos. I'm canceling out this $100 from before. That's going to stay in a different account. So I will be starting from scratch at 0, but now 504. And I think my goal is 2,500, and I also need to make sure that that is correct. So let me, pardon my reach here. Let me get out the calculator. So there's 12 segments. So 2,500 is the goal, and we're dividing that by 12. So it should be 208 per segment. So I need to change that as well. So let's do that. And hopefully next week, oops, what the hecko? It just does not want to stick on the page. Okay. Hopefully next week, I will have, I'm going to use a Sharpie here. I will have not only this week's deposit in, but next week's as well. So 208 per segment. So that should be, if I do 1,000, that should be almost 5. So about 4 segments. All right. So that is the blip fund. Next, let's talk about my monetization tracker because it is complete. So again, thank you to everyone who subscribed as being part of the first 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully many more to come. I was filling this in since about, I don't know, here maybe is when I started. And so every bubble or every circle on here represents 10 people. So there are 100 total spaces, 1,000 subscribers, and every bubble is also, or every circle is also $50. So I did put in the last $100, so balance is $5,000. This will now fund my Roth IRA. It's not going to fully fund it, but it is going to make significant progress. Excuse me. Let's talk about the Roth IRA. So, or Sloth IRA. This tracker is available on my, I know it's available on Ko-fi. I'm not sure if it's available on Etsy or not. If it's not available on Etsy, I will make it available on Etsy. Links are down in the description to both. This is a tracker that I made so that I could keep track of all my contributions to my Roth IRA for the year. This year, for those of us who are below the age of 50 or younger than 50, the maximum contribution is $7,500. If you are age 50 or older, you also have an $1,100 catch-up contribution available to you, so the maximum is $8,600. There is another version of the tracker for those 50 and older. If you buy the file, you will get both versions. But for me, I need to fill in, well, I will fill in as soon as I make the contribution, the $5,000. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be through here. So that's a significant chunk. I mean, it's 2/3 of my total contribution for the year from subscribers. And then once the blip fund is fully funded, this will become my next goal, is fully funding my Roth IRA for the year. I also want to add, and I don't think I did it yet, so let me go back over here. And this is just the tracker and it's blank, and that's the last thing in here that I had to show from that section anyway. Another thing is to save, so I need to write another note to myself that I have another stretch goal of saving next year's Roth IRA contribution. We don't know what it's going to be yet. Presumably it'll be more than $7,500 for 2027. But I want to get a jump on it this year so that I can get that into my Roth IRA at the start of the year and have that money working for me. So 2027 Roth is the note that I'm making to myself. Goal. And I would write that in right now, but I don't know where these pens are. So that is it for the budget update for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being part of the first 1,000. That means a lot to me, but it also means a lot to me if you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to right now. I am looking forward to growing my channel over time. And if you enjoy being here, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please leave me a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button if it tickles your fancy. And until I see you in the next one, take care.